the reconstruction using Iraqi money. That's a black hole.
We don't know who it went to or what it went to. We know that about $9 billion was lost during the initial months of the occupation.
They've essentially done what the U.S. tries to do through the World Bank, which is to restructure economies in a way that favors the interests of multinational corporations. That's the game. Here, they've taken off the velvet glove and used the iron fist in a way that is much more blatant and obvious to anybody who cares to pay attention.
Are they coming? You getting it? You want some water? Water? Mike? Come on, keep running. Here. Here. You getting them?
I'm getting them, son.
Come on, you're almost there. Hurry.
That's fucked up.
Here. Can you see him?
I can see him, sir.
Come on, hurry. Hurry up, you want it? This thing's gonna run like 2 miles.
This kid's running forever.
Come on. Look at this kid. Come on. What?
He's chasing it, man.
Hey, you still didn't get it.
I appreciate the world leaders taking my phone calls as I explained to them why I think Paul will be a strong president of the World Bank. I've said he was a man of good experiences. He helped manage a large organization. World Bank's a large organization. The Pentagon's a large organization. He's been involved in the management of that organization. He's a skilled diplomat. And Paul is committed to development. He's a compassionate, decent man who will do a fine job in the World Bank.
I believe deeply and passionately in the mission of the World Bank. The opportunity of working to lift 1 billion people who earn less than $1 a day out of poverty and billions of others who live in circumstances of poverty, to give them a fair chance in life is an exciting responsibility and a real challenge.
We'd like a few words with our winner tonight. So, Wolfowitz, do you feel you deserve this victory?
Nay.
They're basically economic hitmen, you know. They spent $20 billion out of Iraq's money in this unbelievably wasteful and unaccountable fashion, and now Iraq has trouble financially, and in fact, you know, is in debt, and that's very convenient for the U.S. government, because in order for Iraq to get credit and investment or IMF support, there are certain conditionalities, and one of those conditionalities is privatize your oil.
The International Monetary Fund signed an agreement with the Iraqi government in December 2005 for the cancellation of part of Iraq's external debt. And one of the conditions set by the International Monetary Fund was that the Iraqi government pass a law by the end of 2006. That law shifts the Iraqi oil industry from being in the public sector, which has been the case for nearly 35 years in Iran, to being predominantly controlled by multinational companies.
So the way that it went is, okay, we will give you a structural adjustment program, okay? You liberalize, you deregulate, you privatize your economy, okay, as the quid pro quo, and the money that we give you will then be channeled into debt repayments to our commercial banks.
Very innovative.
It sounds like the same old scenario, and empires have always been built that way. It's just that this one has been done a little bit more secretly up until now. What's interesting, I think, about Iraq in a way is that things are really coming out in the open.
Do you, Pentagon, promise to make war without end on countries that defy the civilized world by refusing to integrate with the global market economy?
I do.
Do you, World Bank, promise to continue forever and ever with policies such as water privatization, free trade, and labor deregulation?
I do, most definitely.
With the power vested in me by the President of the United States and by the U.S. Treasury and Defense Departments, I now pronounce Pentagon and World Bank husband and wife. May the invisible hand of the free market bless their union. You may invade, dictate, and impoverish now.
One thing that has impressed me a lot as I've traveled around the world is not only that the poorest countries of the world need and value the relationship with us, but even the very successful developing countries still find a benefit from working with the World Bank.
You can go to places like Bolivia or Nigeria or Indonesia. You can go all over the world to very poor countries, and you can talk to people who may be illiterate, can't even read the newspapers, but they know that their country has just accepted a huge loan from the World Bank, and they can look and see that big American corporations are in there building huge projects, power plants, and they know the electricity is not going to come to their little cardboard shacks on the canals of Jakarta, Indonesia, or to their little campesino farms in the countryside of Colombia or Bolivia or Ecuador. They know they're not going to benefit.
Certain things are really very simple and very clear. It's very clear and simple that the purpose of this is poverty reduction. It's very clear and simple the purpose of this is to increase our ability to provide usable resources, not to cut back on lending. And in fact, I'd note in the past year our lending has reached record levels, but it needs to go up further, and we're going to need more money from donors.
Said he'd be true to the mission, that hunger and want should end. And as all Afghans know, he's a man of his word, on that we can't depend. So be prepared for prosperity, it's coming to your door. Cause there will be no poverty once we kill off all the poor. Last week he was bombing cities, now he's a financier.